Welcome everyone to another episode of Fountain of Light, and we have here joining us a very special guest by the name of Bertha. Bertha, if you'd like to introduce yourself as far as your work life, school life, family life.
Sure, yeah. Hi, thank you so much for having me. Love everything that you guys are doing. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Bertha, and I am currently a grad student studying marriage and family therapy. I also run a small ministry with a close friend of mine. It's a women's ministry called Beloved, and so we hold different events and Bible studies, and yeah, that's what I do.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And so one of the things that actually it caught our attention, Jose shared with us that specifically that you just graduated, but you're studying to be a family therapist.
Yes.
And so it's very, it's amazing, you know, when one wants to work in a field like that, because you're dealing with real life issues, you're dealing with different families, different situations that go on in families. And so I imagine it's not the easiest thing to do, right? And so what encouraged you to start studying for this? Was this always a dream of yours, or what inspired that for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do coming into college. I actually had started as an engineer major. I was majoring as an industrial engineer because I thought, well, this is a good and safe job. But the more that I sat with the Lord in prayer, I came to realize that He wanted me to do something more. I had always been interested in mentorship and psychology. It was always very fascinating to me. And I didn't really know what to do with that. So I really just brought all those desires to the Lord. And after taking one psychology class, I just took one psychology class in college, and we were doing this group activity where we were doing like a mock therapy session with one of our peers, and it made me realize that I really want to do marriage and family therapy. Marriage and family therapy specifically because marriage and family is a foundation of society, and when we build strong and healthy marriages, we raise strong and healthy individuals. Marriages that are rooted in God's love and live according to God's will ultimately build individuals that also are seeking the Lord and have good character and values. So it's incredibly important to help couples in their marriage, help families with the relationship issues that they may encounter, and that's why I'm really passionate about it.
It's amazing and such fruitful work. And then the way you put it of just the importance, because I believe in this society, family is something that we've pushed to the side almost,
Right.
As if it's not that important, as if it doesn't matter for children to grow up in a household with mother and father having a good relationship, right?
Right.
Would you say that many families that maybe were going through really tough situations, if they had maybe seek therapy, do you think there would have been a drastic change there?
Yeah, I definitely do. See, many of the relationship issues that couples may face, they really don't know how to navigate it on their own. And there are moments where professional help is necessary because they have the tools and the knowledge to help these individuals. And it's easier to just give up. It's easier to get a divorce and to carry your cross and actually go through the difficult parts of marriage, which ultimately will happen. It's part of the vocation. But I think that if couples seeked therapy when it was necessary, they would have saved themselves from a lot of just distress, so much issues, or even divorce.
Yes, definitely. And as far as you you're also, well, you're Catholic, of course. Yes. And so specifically you're seeking for family therapy and like a Catholic family therapist.
Right.
Where you're able to also share some of the faith as well. Would that be something you're seeking, or you're still kind of?
Yeah, 100%. It's something that I'm really passionate about, intersecting the faith and therapy. When we bring those together, we can actually provide holistic therapy and care for the individual. We can't separate of the body and the mind, right? They go together and they can affect one another. When we have mental health issues, we can also help our spiritual life as well. And so, yeah, it's something that I would love to do in the future, provide Catholic integrated therapy to individuals and families.
And you're already doing so as well, right? You mentioned there's a ministry for women. Yes. And it's called Beloved, which I love the name so much. Can you share with us a little bit behind that name and how it was chosen?
Yeah, of course. So the women's ministry Beloved we named it because it's a reminder of our true identity in Jesus Christ. We are his beloved bride and beloved daughters of God. So it's to remind us of who we are and whose we are. And specifically for women, because it's something that many women struggle with. There's so many labels and titles given to us by society, by people around us. And so when we're anchored in who we are, we get to live truly the life that the Lord calls us to live. Yeah.
Amazing. So that's your career you're going for, and then the ministry work. And then as far as family, what would you say? Are you very family oriented, or what does Bertha like doing? Like, what are your fun hobbies and things like that?
Oh, I like a little bit of everything. I really enjoy being outdoors in my free time. I love being in nature and hiking, just staying active. But I also really enjoy singing. So I grew up, yeah.
At the end of this, we're gonna have to show a little clip.
Yeah, I grew up singing in the church at a very young age, and here and there I'll help young adult ministries whenever they need help with worship. So, yeah.
What is a testimony that you can share with us of maybe an experience that you've had with family or maybe in your ministry that really touched your heart and made that desire grow even bigger in your direction to becoming a family therapist?
Yeah.
Is there any experiences or any situations, anything that kind of drives you? Because this career, like I said, it's not just a regular job, I would say, right? I feel like it's emotionally, it could take a toll because we are human. We have feelings. If we hear somebody's traumatic event or anything like that, it's gonna have some kind of effect on us.
Right.
So is there anything you can share that maybe you've experienced or that you've seen in others?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that came to mind really was this story that was shared by a student when I was doing research in undergrad. So I was involved in a research lab as an undergrad student as I was pursuing my psychology degree. And this research focused on examining the underutilization of mental health resources in specifically college students that are Latino and Asian. And so it was an interview style where thankfully we had so many Asian and Latino college students share their experience, be willing to share their experience with therapy and using mental health resources, whether that was on campus or on their own. And we just kind of wanted to get an idea of what their experience was. So there was one specific student that shared her experience, and basically she had reached out to the resources on campus for mental health, help. This was during COVID, and as we had seen in research too at that time, there was so many people experiencing so many mental health issues, feelings of loneliness and isolation because of the quarantine. And so she was experiencing, fortunately, some of those same issues. And she had reached out explaining this. And in her own words, she said that she just felt without purpose, really lonely, and she just wanted to get some guidance. When she was filling out the assessment for this resource on campus, the campus then reached out to her immediately and gave her a reference number, and then put her on a wait list. And she said that in the interview, she said that she just felt like a number. She felt very insignificant because of the way that they had treated her. And eventually they did reach back to her a couple months after, but months after, yeah. And when they did, they didn't really address any of the issues that she was dealing with. None of the underlying issues. It was very surface level. And so ultimately she shared with us that she just felt very insignificant and dismissed by the system. And so for me, when I heard that story, I felt very sad, honestly, for this individual, for this woman. And it really inspired me to be someone that, when I see patients in the future, treat them as the son and daughter that they are, the son and daughter of God that they are, and with care and love, and just be sensitive to who they are and to what they're dealing with. So yeah, that was a story that had really touched me and inspired me.
And it's such an unfortunate situation, and it's one of many, because I've heard many things like that too, where they reach out, and something specific that she mentioned was that she didn't feel with purpose.
Right.
And normally there's keywords that when someone states these words, usually one has to call in. It's like an emergency, because they could be at risk of, it could be a risk to their life, right? Something could happen.
Right.
And so even worse, that months later, they reached back. And like I said, it's one of many. And just what she stated about feeling like she was just a number, what a difference it makes in how one is received, in the compassion for others.
Right.
And just listening to someone, what a big difference it can make.
Yeah.
Just as big of a difference as when one isn't compassionate or one shows no interest. Right? So it's so crucial. It's like 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's a life at stake.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love how you mentioned too, it's the compassion that we're called to share, especially in this field, with people dealing with such traumatic experiences. It's important that we share the love of Christ, treat them as Christ would treat them, right? And unfortunately, the campus had failed in doing that. And it, like you said, it was a life at stake. And yeah.
So Bertha, in choosing this career as a family therapist, how do you see it in connection to the pro-life movement? Do you see, well, I know you see it as important, right? But if you can kind of go into more detail with us, how that connection is with families to the pro-life movement.
Yeah, definitely. So the connection with the pro-life movement and therapy. So in therapy, many individuals experience the unfortunate reality of suicide. And with suicide, many individuals believe that their life is not valuable, that they do not deserve to be here anymore. And so what therapists will do, good therapists, will guide them and help them to recognize that they do matter, that they are a beautiful gift to the people around them. And in addition to that, I would also say that many women too that unfortunately have had abortions also struggle with mental health issues such as depression. And when they come to recognize too the act that they've committed with abortion, there's so much grief, and it's such a traumatic experience having an abortion. And it's important that we receive these people with care and compassion, and of course when they recognize what they've done, to encourage them to seek forgiveness, to go to confession, right? And also seek professional help, because they need those tools, and they can't carry all that weight and grief on their own. They need somebody that can help them navigate those emotions, navigate the trauma. So I would say it would be those two things. Mm-hmm.
So Berta, what is some advice you can give us as far as, let's say, maybe a situation with like college students?
Okay.
If maybe they've left their home and now they're living in a dorm and they're experiencing a new life. You know, they're away from their family. Maybe they're experiencing depression, loneliness. They feel kind of out of place, severe anxiety. What is some advice you would give this student that could possibly maybe help them to take that step to go to seek therapy?
That's a really good question. I think the number one thing would be to first seek community. Seeking somebody that can help you find those resources is so important, because especially if they're dealing with loneliness and anxiety and they need somebody to help them, they can't do it on their own, right? So it's important that they root themselves in community. And there's also so many resources online now too, that many college students can look into. So many that accommodate like their financial state too, because I know it's difficult as a college student. So yeah, I would say those two things. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Berta, for coming on and sharing with us. We're so excited for this career. We're going to be praying for you, and just for everyone watching, we will have some resources listed, as well as the ministry for the women, Beloved, if anyone's also interested in, in going into a new community, because as Berta stated, it's so important, especially if you're feeling lonely, to seek community, good community, right? Someone who's going to look out for you, who wants the best for you, healthy relationships. So we hope to see you again soon, Berta. We're definitely going to give you a call soon after, you're in your job, and just to hear more about this. And well, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
We'll see everybody on the next episode of Fountain of Life.